Welcome to Legends of Ink. Well, I'm Dakota,
And I'm Jackie.
and today we are going to be reviewing our set champs that we did from set 5, a little bit of Seattle, and some of the excitement and maybe not so exciting parts of set 6, Azurite Sea.
Coming out this Friday.
Let's get right into it. So let's start with set champs. How
Yes.
many set champs did you go to?
Oh boy. Um, three?
Yeah, I think that's
I
right.
think three. What about you? How many did you go
I
to?
went to 5.
Okay. And how did you do?
I got 1 Maribel.
Same.
I top 8'd
Same.
at loot.
So did I.
You top 4'd at loot.
Well, yeah, but that also includes top eight.
It does include top 8. You are indeed correct there.
But you're saying that I did better than you at loot?
You know, I ran into a lot of aggro, okay? A lot of hyper aggro, and my red blue does not like hyper aggro.
Yeah, but overall, I think the set champs went really well. So I'm getting more comfortable in the competitive environment, which is good.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
Seeing that we were just in Seattle.
Set champs, I think were very interesting because we did see a lot of hyper aggro
Yes.
throughout all of the set champs that we did. We also went to a bunch of stores that we don't normally go to meet new people, whether we were invited by some of our other friends or we just wanted to go try out a new store. That's always fun. I love set champ season. It's
Yeah.
very busy, but
Yeah, and each store has like a different vibe, a different kind of like gameplay even. Like, you see your regular decks from your regular people every week and you know what to expect, but going to completely new places where you don't really know most people, there could be some surprises.
yeah, I definitely went to a couple of our normal stores, specifically trying to beat one person who I knew was going to do very well. So I built my deck against hers and I never ended up playing her. But, that's another story for another day.
Speaking of playing people, I think we did play each other each time.
Yeah, every time we've played each other, no
So
matter where we go. Luckily, not in the main of Seattle, but we'll get to
we'll
that.
get there.
So yeah, we both got a Maribel. Super excited about that. One of the stores that I wanted to highlight was actually Game and Co. because they expanded the Maribel to the top 8. Game and Co. actually added 2 custom playmats to third and fourth place, which was super cool. And the playmats are a makeup card,
Yeah, like a location
a
card.
location card, and it's their store. And it said third place and fourth place on it. So that was super cool. I really enjoyed that.
They
Bunch
do
of play.
they do custom mats, and so they've done our custom mats that we use for tournaments and also our jerseys. So if
Yeah.
you're ever looking for someone to do that kind of stuff, I don't know, is it on their website maybe?
Yeah. You can reach out to them on their website or on Discord.
Yeah, so would highly recommend. Real quality stuff.
We're not paid by them, but we appreciate them for all that they do. So let's hop into Seattle because I think that's going to be the exciting part of what we're going to talk about here. We did so much there. Any Lorcana challenge is always super interesting, very cool to do. If you haven't been to one, make an effort to go to one next year
Absolutely.
once they release all their info about it. But yeah, let's start breaking down our trip.
So it was in Seattle. Neither of us had been to Seattle before. So that was fun. We got in Thursday. So the actual DLC was Friday to Sunday. We went Thursday to Monday. So we had a little extra time to explore the city, hang out with some friends we had there. So Thursday was mostly hanging out with Piper from Where the Magic Happens podcast
If you're a big Disney fan and you want another podcast to
or
listen to,
Universal.
or Universal, any theme park, they do a great job over on their podcast where the magic happens. So make sure you go check them out.
So we stayed with them. She took us to a Kraken game, which was amazing.
Yeah, the Kraken Stadium's cool. Their intro was so cool. The video and the music and stuff, loved that.
Yeah, the whole like arena's underground essentially.
Yeah,
So when you're sitting there watching the game, like you can just casually look to your side and you're at like sidewalk level.
yeah,
And
you're
there's
right on street level.
people just walking around. So it was cool. It was a good experience. The whole city in general was very green. So like that arena has like recyclable cups and everything. It's like you can bring in your water bottles, which I didn't know, your reusable water bottle. So I don't know, just cool experience. Would highly recommend.
Yeah, they don't have any plastic cups. They're all like aluminum recyclable
Right.
cups
Like,
for
how
like
cool is that?
beer and anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. That's Climate Pledge Arena. Yeah, we got to explore the city a little bit before the game, hang out with Jake.
Mm-hmm.
He took us to some cool places. We really appreciate them
Yep.
for
They're
showing
the
us around.
best. But all right, hopping into DLC.
Hopping into DLC Friday.
So Friday was side events, meet and greets. So we started out, I think Dakota went straight into his first sealed.
Yes, I did a 12 o'clock sealed for Shimmering Skies.
Anything good there?
I did not pull anything good. Pulled really good stuff for sealed event.
Hmm.
I didn't pull any enchanteds or anything at that time. But I had a lot of fun. I think I went 2-1 in that event.
Okay.
So I believe I went 2-1 because I had to essentially concede my last round because we had a 2 p.m. sealed as well that day.
Yep.
So pretty much the best deck I could have had for that. I really enjoyed it. I think I would have gone 3-0, but I'm happy that I got to concede and go to the first chapter sealed after that. But what did you do at the 12 o'clock time slot?
So I had my developer pack rush. So that was, I mean, we've done like one pack rush together. So that's one of my first times doing that and meeting the developer. I believe it was Joseph. So and he's awesome. He had a lot of information and just a blast. But I did beat him pretty bad. I beat him so quickly that instead of going to 15, we went to 20. But that was a good experience and, would highly recommend. And you get to keep all the cards at the end too. And then I also met the first illustrator of the weekend, who was Brian Weiss. And his cards are like Archimedes, Educated Owl, Marshmallow, Mickey Mouse, Artful Rogue. So, and he was just real cool, down to earth.
Yeah.
So, just getting some more information from the illustrators are cool. I have some more stories for the Sunday illustrators, but
Ooh,
I would highly recommend if you're at any of these events and you can meet these people. It's just do it. It's fun. They they got some good stories to tell you.
that's awesome. At 2 o'clock, we went into the first chapter sealed event,
Yep.
which is one of the last two that they are doing. I believe they're no longer doing first chapter sealeds moving forward in any of the challenges. But how did you do in the first chapter sealed?
Let's see here. As far as pulling cards, I pulled an enchanted.
Which enchanted did you pull?
The Mickey Mouse Artful Rogue.
Very cool.
So, which of course I already met Brian, but how cool would have that been? But yeah, so I mean, it's not the Elsa, but that's okay. It's still a great enchanted. That's a win for me. So basically, after pulling that, I was like, all right, well, I'm done for the weekend. I can just relax. Like, other than that, nothing too crazy on my pulls. But what about you?
I pulled some good cards out of that one, specifically for sealed. I went 3-0 in sealed, and we had to play each other the first round.
Well, yeah. So what are the chances of that out of 250
256.
some? Yeah.
Yeah,
And we play each other the first round. And I have a pretty darn good deck too. I bet I would have gone 3-0 if I didn't play Dakota.
sure.
So it was good. It was one of my better sealed decks of the weekend.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the sealed competition. I hope that in the future they, instead of just like the small side events, maybe they do a sealed challenge of some sort. That
Yeah,
would be kind of cool because I think it takes a lot of the investment out for people of
sure.
like, oh, I have to go buy this super expensive card in order to play this super meta deck and be good in the challenge. It kind of breaks it more down to you get what you get and you got to be skilled at the
Yeah, I
game
was
and
gonna
know what you're
say
doing.
it's its own skill set of knowing what cards would be a good sealed deck. And I think it's fun because you do end up playing with cards you wouldn't normally play with.
That's my favorite part.
That's 100% my favorite part because like it's unique because you're using all the colors and again the cards that you don't normally play with in different combinations and
Yeah.
it's fun. I really like seals.
One of the fun cards that I actually played with in the Shimmering Skies sealed is the Merlin's Cottage. I wouldn't play this card normally, probably because I don't want people to know what I'm pulling, but Merlin's Cottage makes both players play with the top card of their deck revealed. So it really throws people off. It's a fun time because you can kind of plan ahead a little bit, but also be like, oh, I see what you're gonna do now. So you got to kind of play around that, and it makes things super interesting and
Yeah,
fun.
love it.
So really love sealed, and I think that's what. Oh, then after the 2 p.m. sealed on Friday, I had my pack rush with the developer.
Yeah.
I also had Joseph that I played against, and I was the last person of the day.
Yep, cut the line off after Dakota.
Yep, and we played. We rolled for our packs. I don't remember exactly what packs I had, but I ended up winning, and we got to the end, and we're like, all right, let's check for enchanteds. And I flipped over my deck, and the very bottom card was an enchanted Mickey Trumpeteer.
Yeah.
So 2 enchanteds in one day is pretty great for us. That's
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
exciting.
But how does it feel knowing that you were shuffling with an enchanted unknowingly?
It hurt. It hurt a little bit. Just I flipped it over and immediately reached for a sleeve. So
But yeah, quite the way to end out the night because the place is cleared out. Like we were there much longer than we should have been.
yeah, we were the very last people out, and then had to go find food.
So yeah, but I mean that was a great time.
Then we hopped right into Saturday. Saturday is the big challenge day.
Yep. And this was my first challenge. So I did go to Chicago and I just did side events as an attendee, but this is my first big competition. So I was a little nervous going into it, but I set my expectations pretty low. So I was confident in my deck. I did a lot of studying on the plane. We just did our set championship, so I was feeling pretty good about it. But honestly just wasn't expecting to do too well. So yeah, I wasn't planning on doing too well, and that came to fruition with my first two games. I went 0-2.
Rough start. Rough start to the day.
So not my best start, but fun people to play against. And everyone we met this weekend was honestly so cool. I can't complain about any of it, and I was real nervous my first game, and the guys playing just calmed my nerves and was just excited about Lorcana.
Yeah, and that first game is always very hit or miss because you never know who you're going to play against.
Right, it's just completely random.
It's just completely random, and like you could be at table 700 playing against Zan, who just won in Vegas, right? It's fun because you get to kind of. I always prefer to start at a lower table because I can only go up from there on the day. But this time I happened to start at like 180, and I was like, oh no, this is not going to go well for me. So I ended up losing my first round to a red purple. My first out of my first 5 games,
Yeah.
4 of them were red purple, and I hit a wall. I drew some of them, I lost some of them.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah,
it happens.
my very first game was green steel, which I was expecting. That's what we were expecting most players to be playing. So I was prepared for it, but just didn't get the win there, which is fine.
I did pull up the stats. There were 1,889 Illumineers competing that day.
Okay, all right.
So very big crowd. Love to see it. We are just over 1 year into the game, and
Yeah.
we're holding 2,000-person tournaments.
Yes,
It's so cool.
and selling out immediately too.
Yeah, hard to get. The rest of my games, I played against a couple of green yellows and red greens. So I wasn't really prepared for those. I did end up winning a couple of those. I think I finished at 3 wins, 4 losses, and 2 ties, which put me at 27 points.
Awesome.
I'll tell a story about one of my games, but you go ahead.
Well, so after my 2 miserable losses, I believe I won the next 2. So I was 2-2-0, feeling pretty darn good, getting back into like the middle standings, no ties yet. And so I just, winning feels pretty darn good. And from there, I think I tied most of the rest of them. I had a couple more losses, but at one point I was doing better than Dakota, which is always fun. And then the last game we just played best of one. So I lost that one, so I ended up conceding, but I ended up it wasn't my best last game. I was completely like brain fried, making mistakes left and right. I feel like the rest of the day, like I was doing pretty good, but after 12 hours of just
Yeah.
full brain power, it was a lot. So I can understand why People have their clothes set out the day for the weekend or whatever.
Between some of the rounds, we actually met up with Brian from
Oh
Chicago DLC
yeah.
that we interviewed last podcast. We presented him with a mini trophy that said Chicago DLC winner Brian the Rat Cortade.
The first winner with a
He
trophy.
was the first winner officially with a trophy since they haven't received their trophies yet. But he told us a story in a later round that he sat down against somebody and they said, "Oh, aren't you Brian, the winner of Chicago?" And he goes, "Matter of fact, I am," and pulled out the little trophy and set it next to him. So that was pretty funny. And he's like, "I'm just kidding with you. Like, it's fine. Let's play." I don't think Brian had the best day that day. I believe him and I were tied at a couple points, and
Yeah.
I was really excited because I thought I could play him, but that didn't happen. So, did you have any very interesting games or something that you remember out of any of your games?
I mean, really, honestly, nothing too crazy. Just all good conversations. At one point, me and you were tied, and we were so sure we were going to play each other because that's just how it works. But we ended up being seated directly next to each other, so we were just like,
One table off.
yeah.
There's one person in between us, which
So
is
perfect.
crazy.
But yeah, I don't know, nothing too crazy. What about you?
I played a green emerald amber deck, and they were playing an off meta deck, and I didn't know all the cards they had. And what was really interesting that they did was they were playing the Emerald Queen that says tap, choose and discard a character card, gain lore equal to the discarded character's lore.
Okay.
And I didn't really think much of it when they played it on turn three. Then on turn four, they tapped the queen, or they exerted the queen, discarded a Maribel, gained themselves 5 lore,
Jeez.
played a Sven to re-ready the queen, exerted it again, and discarded a Robin Hood to gain 4 more lore. So on turn 4, they gained 9 lore.
Yeah, what a combo.
And I went, okay, I see how this game's going to go, and I am never letting that thing live ever again.
Lessons learned.
Lessons learned. So
So,
that was super fun. I love seeing some of the creative stuff that everybody
yeah.
comes up with and
Yeah, all the
what
different
they
cards.
bring, right?
One of the cool things about my travel from the bottom to the middle is I did see like a different deck every time, a different color combination. So a lot of unique decks, not necessarily meta. So that was a lot of fun, just learning new cards, seeing how people are playing, and I would just overall with it being my first competition, I would highly recommend it. Like I was so nervous at the Chicago one, but looking back at it, like I wish I would have played Chicago because it's just good people. No one necessarily cares if you're newer to the game. Like it's just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. It's so worth it.
I was going to break down the meta game for day one for us real quick. So, out of the decks, 5% were others that weren't included in this list.
Which
So,
was me, surprisingly.
yes, which was you.
So my green purple.
You were an other. 3% was Amethyst Sapphire, 3% was Amber Emerald, 6% was Amethyst Steel, 6% was Sapphire Steel, 7% was Amber Amethyst, so that's your aggros probably. 15% was Amber Steel, most likely Steel Songs. 16% was Amethyst Ruby, so the red purples that I ran into almost all day. 18% was Emerald Steel, which I did not see a single one of. And 21% was Ruby Sapphire, which was me, and I also did not see a single one of.
Yeah, so I didn't see any red, blue, and then just that one green seal that we all prepped for. So it's
Yeah,
just look at the cards, really. Like that's the thing is you can be so prepared for so many things, but it all depends on who you're playing, who you're matched against, what you draw. So it's so much strategy, but also so much luck at the end of the day.
so yeah, as always, I had a blast there.
So much fun.
I ended up with 27 points, so I think I got 14 tickets
Yep,
for the prize wall.
I ended with 23.
You
So
also
I
got
was
14.
playing that last game. If I would have won, would be 30. That put me over the threshold for more
Gaming
tickets.
tickets.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, like much better. Again, I had low expectations, but I did so much better and had so much more fun than I ever expected. So
Yeah, it was such a good time. 100% recommend it. Hopping into day two, I'm just going to review the metagame there real quick. There was in the top
so this is, yeah,
64,
cut to top
cut to
64.
top 64. In the top 64, we had one ruby steel, one amethyst sapphire, two sapphire steels, four amber amethyst, five amber emerald, 13 amethyst emerald, which is yours.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's
So,
we were under the 5%,
sorry,
but
eight amethyst
oh,
emeralds.
13%.
13%.
Yeah. So on in the 5%, it's a good deck. It's competitive.
Eight amber steels, nine emerald steels, nine amethyst rubies, and 17 ruby sapphire. Emerald steel did end up winning it with Wonderland. He did a great job that day. We actually, the second place
Yeah, we got a
player,
funny story there.
we'll cover
We'll
that.
get to
We'll get to that.
it.
So, yep, Emerald Steel ended up winning again, which is always interesting to see
Yeah.
how it just kind of turns out.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what set 6 does to Emerald Steel and all the decks. I'm real excited to see what's to come with our new set coming out.
I just want to highlight one deck real quick because I once I saw it, I was like, "There's no way! Like it's such a peculiar deck that that it made to the top 64. I was amazed. So it is an Amber Steel deck that has um, things like Daisy, Captain Hook, Fix It Felix, Doc, Mr. Smee, John Silver, the 5 cost Fix It Felix, and Fire the Cannons, and then it has 28 locations.
Yeah, I've
Almost
never
half the deck.
never seen anything like that before.
I built it and played it at League last week. It is so much fun.
Yeah, I get to play this week. I can't wait.
It is so much fun. And
Just chaos.
shout out to that person, whoever built that deck and played it. Good on you, because that's awesome. This is what I love about Lorcana. You could come with something that nobody thought
Yeah.
of, and top
Yeah.
64, a 2,000 person tournament.
Yeah. Love it.
So cool.
But do you want to hop into Sunday?
Let's hop into Sunday.
All right. So we did 2 sealed events was our main events. So we started out with first chapter? I don't think so.
No,
What did
we
we start out
did
with?
the 12 o'clock Rise of the Floodborn.
Okay. Yep. So I don't think I pulled anything crazy there either.
Pulled some interesting stuff. Nothing above and beyond, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and it
Did
wasn't
we
like
both pull a beast?
yo, yep.
Sad beast or something like that? I went 3-0 in that sealed. I've learned that I'm probably better at sealed than regular competitive at this point.
Maybe. I don't remember how I did it. I definitely didn't do as good as I did. It didn't feel as good as when I played the first chapter. So, but maybe I think it's 2-1.
Yeah,
Maybe,
that sounds
but
right.
like a struggle 2-1, not
Yeah. You're decisive.
yeah. So no complaints there. And then our second sealed was first chapter again.
First chapter again.
So which I guess in between I did meet some more illustrators, but so I was running, I don't know, 2-3 minutes behind getting to my seat. So they already had passed out the deck. So I, had to flag someone saying, I'm here.
Yeah.
I promise to go to help with that. But like 2 and 3 people away from me pulled Elsa's.
There was like 3 or 4 Elsas total pulled in that one event.
Exactly. Yeah. So none in our one that we did on Friday, and however many, but at least 2 literally right next to me when I was running behind. So that's on me, but good for them. They were so excited.
It's such a cool time doing that because like somebody will jump up and start cheering and everybody
Yeah.
just goes wild for
Yeah.
them. And I'd have to imagine as a top 64 player all the way on the other side of the room hearing this, you got to be like, oh man, somebody got an Elsa
Yep.
in the middle of your game, right? So that's cool.
I do love it. But again, another kind of struggle of a sealed event.
Did you go 2-1 on that
I
one?
think I also went. Oh no, we like conceded, tied the last round because that
Intentionally
was
drew.
intentionally drew because they were doing like the final celebration. So we were just trying to scoot and go see, the
Watch the.
award ceremony.
So I guess let's touch on that. One thing that's super cool on Sunday, they have it on Saturday as well, but Sunday's top 64, obviously the best of the best is there. They have a giant screen where you can
Hmm.
watch the game in real time.
Hmm.
They highlight one game out of each round, and watching that final game is always so cool because you not only have you obviously have the people that showed up because they like Lorcana or like Disney or whatever, but then you have like the true Lorcana fans that all hang out and sit there and watch and talk about what they would have done different and how
Yeah.
they would have done this. And I always love hearing those comments and like watching these pretty much professional players play the game
Hmm.
and how they react to different things. And
Hmm.
maybe I didn't think of that, and you learn so much from it.
Yeah.
You see a lot of their friends and family are also there watching. So that's actually the people we played at the end.
Yeah.
You
So
played
our
the husband and I played the wife.
Yep, and they were part of this group from Hawaii that this was their closest event and their first event. And so I was playing this man, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is my friend playing right now." I was like, "Oh, how exciting!" And then we wrap up, and I go over to go see how Dakota's doing. And the guy who's just playing basically follows me over because Dakota's playing his wife.
It was pretty funny.
So who's friends with the guy who's ended up taking second place. So like
Yeah.
that was like just small world in his first, DLC. And I don't know, it was so cool.
Yeah. Got an invite to Continentals. That's super cool for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Seattle.
Well,
Let's talk about
I
your
skipped over
artists.
the illustrators, yeah.
Yeah,
So on Sunday, I met who did I meet? Kendall Hale, so he did all the seven drawers. So
so cool.
which
The Amber Seven Dwarfs.
yeah, so where they line up and they all make one scene. So it was his idea first. But then Disney was apparently on the same page, and I was like, "Can you make this one scene?" So it was, perfect collaboration there. And then I also met Julie Vu, and one of her big ones is the Wendy Darling Authority on Peter Pan, so the blue one. And turns out she's hidden a bunch of hidden Mickeys in there. And she even highlighted, maybe we can post this on the Instagram. She even highlighted one of the hidden Mickeys that's in the like illustration of it that isn't really seen on the card.
That'd be super cool.
So yeah, we can point that out. And then she didn't tell me how many were in there, but she said that there's a lot. So there's competition if you guys want to maybe check it out, comment how many you think there are.
Yeah, that'd be
Um,
super fun. We should do that.
yeah. So we'll add that to the Instagram. Again, like just go meet the illustrators. You get fun tidbits like that and get to hear their story, how they got involved, and would highly recommend. That I think wraps up Sunday.
That wraps up Sunday. One of the other cool things is meeting all the people there, right?
So many people, just the competitors, but also so many other content creators.
Yeah, that as well. One of my favorites that I want to highlight was the Tinkerbell Giant Fairy.
Yeah.
She was dressed perfectly to the card, and she had the little pirate ship that she was carrying with her, which blew my mind because it was also her deck
Yeah,
box.
fully functional deck box. How cool is
It
that?
was so cool, and you wouldn't have even known it if
Yeah.
she didn't open it for you. So that was awesome.
Yeah, some really good cosplays there.
Really good
So
cosplays.
the Beach Merlin.
Beach Merlin, yeah.
So yeah, making pretty good friends with him.
Met some other content creators. Met Ducky, who
Ducky VIP.
we're probably going to be working with in the near future. We have an idea for maybe a new format, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. That's a little sneak peek. We'll talk about that when it comes around. But yeah, loved meeting all those people. Had so much fun. I cannot say it enough. Go to a challenge.
Absolutely.
Even if you can't get a competitor badge, go as an attendee.
It's so fun.
You're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. All right. Well, that wraps up Seattle. Let's move into what we're excited about for the next set, Azurite Sea. as well as maybe what we're not particularly excited about in the new set. As a reminder, we're only a few days away from the release of the new set.
Ow!
And on our Instagram, we are opening a pack a day until the new set releases,
That's been fun.
which has been fun. And we're going to fun locations and doing it. So check that out.
We got grandma involved.
We got grandma involved. It was her 80th birthday. So, uh,
All right. So, what are you not so excited about?
so the main card that I'm not so excited about, I don't know if a lot of people will play it because it is a very expensive card. It's a 7 cost uninkable, but this leads more into the green discard deck, the emerald discard deck. It is the card Bend to My Will. It is an action. Obviously the 7 cost uninkable. Each opponent discards all cards in their hand.
Yeah.
That's not going to be great for me. So just more discard, not so excited about it. But I have a lot more that I am excited about than not excited about. How
Yeah.
about you?
Yeah, so my not so excited is it's a purple Maleficent staff, and it's whenever one of your opponent's characters, items, or locations is returned to their hand from play, gain 1 lore. So, as you should probably know by now, I do the Amethyst
Amethyst Emerald.
Emerald,
Yep.
the Amethyst Emerald deck, the bounce deck. So that's going to be a real killer for me because I don't have a lot of item removal in there.
But you will now.
I will now because that's going to be a disaster. So we'll see how that works out. We'll see how many people actually play it.
And that
I'm hoping
is
for not a lot.
and that is a 2 cost inkable item.
Yes.
All right, let's hop into what we're excited about. You first.
Well, I'm excited about all the pirates. How fun is that going to be? I'm building a pirate deck immediately.
It's gonna be so cool.
But so specifically, we got Winnie the Pooh Honey Pirate. So he's a 2 cost uninkable with support, 1 lore, but he is whenever this character quests, you pay 1 less for the next pirate character you play this turn. So Winnie always there helping out,
Yep.
being a good friend.
He is a 2/2.
2/2, yep. And then the other pirate is a 7 cost inkable. It's Jim Hawkins, Honorable Pirate. So he's got Bodyguard, he's 4/7, 2 lore. But his ability is when you play his character, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal any number of pirate characters and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck. So, I mean, pirate deck.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah. Just spamming pirates.
Yeah. So, what about you? What are you excited to see?
I think I'm most excited for the inventor cards that are coming out because it's going to lead
Yeah.
into my items and things like that really
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
So the first one that I want to highlight is the 3 cost uninkable Tadashi Gifted Roboticist. He is a 2/2 with 2 lore, and his ability is during an opponent's turn. When this character is banished, you may put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down, then put this card into your inkwell face down. So it really helps with the ramp that I have in my deck. I think it's going to be awesome to have this card.
Yeah.
And then there's also the 6 cost inkable Tadashi, Baymax Inventor. He is a 3/3 with 3 lore, which is always good. This character gets +1 strength and +1 willpower for each item you have in play.
Yeah.
And
So that's
I
going to be
typically
huge.
have a decent amount of items in play.
Right. So, and I also love the artwork for both of these cards. So you got the little Baymax kind of hidden in one of them, front and center for the other. But
Yeah.
really excited for this new set.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive into just the everything that's hidden in the background of these cards. So like your Jim Hawkins card, you can see the rest of the crew's shadow in the background.
Yeah.
He's holding the map of Atlantis. That's going to be super cool. We are diving into the lore behind Into the Inklands next.
Mm-hmm.
That should be coming out soon. And we are going to work our way up to Azurite Sea.
We're getting there, I promise.
Yep. It's a lot of research. Takes some time, but we're getting there. So let's jump into This Week in Lorcana. What did you do this week in Lorcana, Jack?
Well, we've been doing those daily pack openings. So once again, head to the Instagram at Legends of the Inkwell. It's been a blast. Today we'll be heading to our league. So just going to loot, and I'm doing the location deck. So very excited there.
Yeah. I played that deck last week and it was so much fun, like I said. Again, I also did the pack of days with you. and I'm heading to Loot today, and I am building a new deck for it.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to play Mulan.
All right, that's my girl.
So we're going to see how it goes, and then get right into building for set 6.
Yeah, so obviously the big thing coming up is set 6 release on Friday. So we'll probably be doing some openings.
Yeah, we'll be doing a live stream of our booster box opening.
You have to keep an eye out for that
Yep.
again on the Instagram at
That'll be
Legends
on
of
our
the Inkwell.
Instagram at Legends of the Inkwell. And I think that's all we have for today. So we'll see you guys real soon.
And remember, it's a great day to have a great day.